universe and God. May we feel that joy and peace in our hearts. Amen. All right, we'll call upon Reverend Lynn to come up and deliver the message.
Good morning again. That was a beautiful prayer, Madge. Thank you. And good morning to our online community. Today I'm going to be speaking on spirituality. And is spirituality religion or metaphysics? Or is it believing in God, Buddha, or Mother Nature? I say yes to every one of them and to them all. Religion is defined as an organized system of beliefs, rituals, and practices in an institutional framework, following a sometimes rigid and strict set of doctrines and rules, and for their behavior, prayer, and for attendance. Doing as you are instructed always promises going to heaven if you're good and do what they ask you to do. And to the other place if you sin and don't mind the rules. So, spirituality, on the other hand, is a broader, more individual journey or a quest for meaning, a connection to something larger than ourselves, without requiring a strict adherence to doctrine. Spirituality focuses on our soul, our inner self, involving heart-centered meditation and our relationship to the universe, using our intuition and our personal truth. It's a wonderful day today. That's all I'm going to say. Spirituality focuses on our soul, our inner self. Normally it's heart-centered, involving meditation, devotion, using our intuition and our personal truth. Being in harmony with all that is. And I believe that if we mess up, we get to come back and try to do better next time. And of course, there's consequences for our behavior. There's consequences for our decisions and our actions. But we get to come back and do it again if we didn't get it right the first time. That's what I believe. Sometimes that's called karma. And sometimes karma's been sneaking up on people pretty doggone quick these days. So I'm trying to behave. These studies and practice overlap each other. And sometimes it can be confusing. So let's see if we can get a little clarity about a few of these ways of life. I love home center. And I love coming to Sunday service. I love coming to Wednesday service. I've been going to every class I can go to. And I just love it. Sometimes I come when there's nothing going on and I just come and meditate because I love being here. Does that make me spiritual or religious? I don't think so. It means that I love being here and it feels good, but it doesn't make me a spiritual or religious person. Thomas Merton was a Trappist monk, a priest, a mystic, a poet, and a social activist. He was one of the most influential Catholic spiritual writers of the 20th century. He was fascinated with Eastern spirituality, finding a deep connection between Christianity, spirituality, and Zen, the Zen tradition of Buddhism and philosophy. I believe Father Merton was an amazing example of spirituality. And I quote him now. He said, "For me to be a saint is to be myself. Therefore, the problem of sanctity and salvation is in fact the problem of finding out who I am, and of discovering my true self." And that was taken from the book, The Golden Age of Zen, but it was written by Father Merton. I'm introducing you to Father Merton because as a Catholic priest and everything else he accomplished in his life, he continued to search. He always continued to search for his true meaning in life. Even getting married as a Catholic priest, that's huge. And being involved in activist situations, learning the philosophy of Zen Buddhism. I believe most of us, maybe all of us actually, read, study, and question everything that is available to us, perhaps to guide us to explore our deepest spiritual beliefs. Meditation, or reflective prayer, which is very close to meditation, or just sitting in the presence of spirit to listen for divine guidance. That's in itself is a spiritual act. Just sitting there listening, waiting for guidance. We are at a time in our world where we are moving beyond right and wrong, good or bad. And spirituality allows for everyone to explore their hearts and their path in life without judgment. Many indigenous peoples say they, meaning those that are not indigenous, go inside a building to talk to their gods. We, the indigenous, go outside into the natural world to listen when our Creator speaks to us. They say, the sky is our roof, walls are made of rivers, waterfalls and trees, and we sit on Mother Earth. Isn't that beautiful? Beautiful spirituality. We talk a lot about being in balance, but I'm beginning to appreciate being in harmony much more than being in balance. We don't always need to be perfectly in balance. Being in harmony with your spirituality is the practice of aligning your inner self with your external environment. Being in harmony looks like not having an overabundance in one area of your life when you have a deficit in another area of your life. It sounds kind of good to me to be able to harmonize in there. Harmony. That is harmony. It's beautiful, it's fulfilling, and it's nurturing. Practicing forgiveness, compassion, and love. Creating an environment where every part of your life, your mind and your soul, and even your relationships, as well as everyday activities, are all being integrated and mutually supported. I would like that sometimes because it's challenging in our world today. Vibrational harmony is extending your inner peace outward, practicing compassion, and building connections. Building connections with mutual respect and kindness. Achieving vibrational harmony and balance is said to embrace the Christ mind, merging spiritual healing and wisdom while leaving behind stress, fear, and negativity to align with divine peace, love, and a higher consciousness. By practicing daily self-care, choosing positive words, feelings like peace, joy, gratitude, and showing kindness always, I believe our journeys can be harmonious. The Dalai Lama is quoted as saying, "My religion is simply kindness." That's a world leader, a world master that just be kind. Sounds pretty simple, but in reality, it's a little challenging sometimes. Just like so many different musical instruments and musical notes, when they all come together to create beautiful chords rather than a single monotonous pitch, spiritual people come from different backgrounds. They have different gifts, different talents, cultures, and abilities, and are meant to complement and support each other in community making beautiful, harmonious music together. Having an authentic spiritual community encourages personal growth and helps us to embrace the divine in each other. Sharing stories and personal experiences that help us, maybe even guide us, to a better understanding of how our actions and our beliefs truly, truly are part of the larger whole. When we encounter the divine with others in community, we transform social connections into spiritual connections. Having the wonderful food and the snacks and that we share together lowers our defenses, making room for unhurried conversations, encouraging us to be fully present while expressing gratitude for our friendships. Gathering as we do in our community helps bridge division and can actually mend relationships, as well as acknowledging that every person is worthy. I have a little story that I'd like to talk to you about. It's Paramahansa Yogananda. Has anybody read? A lot of people might have read the autobiography of a yogi. It's a wonderful book. If you haven't read it, I highly suggest picking it up. It's not a short read, but it's a worthy read. So when Yogananda was a young boy, he was very special. He was born special. And he dreamt about going to the base of the Himalayas because he wanted to meditate with the masters and be blessed by the masters and meditate and just, that was all there was. But his parents said, no, you are too young. So like a lot of kids, he tossed some clothes out the window and set off for the Himalayas. Of course, his parents figured out where he had gone and where he was headed for, and they had a friend intercept him at the train station. He tried many, many times to get to the Himalayas, and his parents always brought him back. But there was one time when he was a little older, and he set off again, this time on foot, so nobody would find him. He was so driven to meditate and be blessed by the masters that lived in the Himalayas. So off he went, and it was getting very dark, and he was still far away from his destination. And he got a little lost in what I think was described as a sugarcane field, and that's some pretty thick stuff. Out of nowhere, an old man appeared and said, "What are you doing here?" And Yogananda told him where he was headed. And the old man asked him, "Why do you want to go to the Himalayas?" "I want to meditate, and I want to be blessed by the masters." The old man listened and then brought him back to his shack. They had no electricity, no water, and wanted him to come back and rest so that he could have a conversation with him. So wanting to meditate and to be blessed by the masters, and the old man was very attentive and listening to him. And he said, "Do you live in a house?" And Yogi said, "Yes, I do." "And do you have your own room?" "Oh, yes, I have my own room." They were a wealthy family. So, yes, of course. "And does this room have a door?" "Yes." "And does the door shut?" "Oh, yes, oh, yes." The old man said, "Go inside your room, shut the door, and in your mind, you can go anywhere. You could just go anywhere you want to meditate. And you can be blessed by the masters there also. The masters will come to you. So do not worry your parents or endanger yourself by going to the Himalayas. Go home, shut your door, and meditate." And Yogananda did just that. A spiritual journey is so personal. Not every way is for everyone. Wherever and whenever you choose to commune with Spirit and open your heart is perfect, just perfect, and will strengthen your spiritual relationship with the divine. As we journey, hopefully we will all continue to search and to learn and to enjoy our personal and harmonious, ever-evolving relationship with the divine, the all that is. Before I end my talk, I would like to read to you a couple lines. Oh, excuse me. I'd like to read a couple lines.
Well, I'll use now to get up then.
Sorry,
That's okay.
I didn't even know.
Trying not to disturb.
You
but
didn't.
Okay.
I think you were meditating. Okay. My father gave me this book in the year 2000, and he actually had it earmarked for something different, but it was for children because I am his child and my children. Anyway, thanks, Daddy Pops. He was a good man. This is the last part of a chapter that starts out as an old priest said to the prophet, speak to us of religion. Your daily life is your temple and your religion. Whenever you enter into it, take with you your all. Take the plow and the forge and the mallet and the lute, the things you have fashioned in necessity or for delight. For in reverie, you cannot rise above your achievements, nor fall lower than your failures. And take with you all men, for in adoration, you cannot fly higher than their hopes, nor humble yourself lower than their despair. And if you would know God, be not therefore a solver of riddles. Rather, look about you, and you shall see him playing with your children. How perfectly wonderful, the children are laughing. Perfect. And look into space, and you shall see him walking in the clouds, outstretching his arms in the lightning and descending in the rain. You shall see him smiling in flowers and waving his hands in the trees. I think that's beautiful. Thank you for indulging me. If you would allow, if you would please join me in meditation. And for those at home, please join me in meditation. It's coming. Relax and sit comfortably. Place your hands palm up on your lap to receive energy, or place your hands over your heart. Breathe in deeply and slowly through your nose, and release through your mouth with ah. Let's do that one more time. Ah. Allow your breathing to soften now in an effortless in and out natural breath. Feel your body touching the chair you are sitting in and your feet being supported by Mother Earth. With each exhale, imagine you are releasing any expectations and you are releasing the noise outside in the busy world. Know that you are exactly where you need to be right now. And just relax. Just relax and keep breathing. Bring your attention to your heart space. And as you breathe in. Feel the warmth from the light softly glowing from your heart space. With every in-breath, it becomes warmer. Your heart space gets warmer and expands. And as you breathe out, you release any tension in your shoulders or your jaw, your back. Let go of all expectations. Enjoy this moment because it is just for you. You are safe and you are loved. You and Spirit are together in your heart space. Now ask Spirit, what brings true peace to your soul? What is it that you need to be at peace? Allow your answer to come gently. And as you continue softly breathing, just sit and rest in your true essence. Affirm that you trust the wisdom of this moment. Just breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in. Oh, and let it go. Thank yourself for showing up to remember your inner truth. Keep this truth with you, knowing that it is from Spirit. When you are ready, take a deep cleansing breath and another, and breathe in and out, opening your eyes. Bring a smile to your face. Bring a beautiful smile to your face. Wiggle your fingers. Squeeze your knees. Welcome back. Thank you. Now it's time for our offering. As we prepare our offerings to the home center, let us hold it in our hands and charge it up with the energy of alignment, generosity, and sacred intention. We know that we are part of the greater circulation of good and that our gifts will multiply for the highest healing, growth, and service to us and to our community. As the basket is coming around, please fill it with your blessings, and we thank you for your generosity and for continuing to support our good works. And so it is. Amen. And now, I would like to invite Reverend Madge to come back to the podium. Thank you.
I told my Bigfoot story, so I have to do something else.
We've all shifted a bit today, haven't we?
Oh, I know, it's been great. Yeah. All right, so first I'm going to share a story. Let me get it open here. The character in my story is named Thomas. Could be personal to you, but I don't think it is. Thomas has challenges here that you don't have, so we're good. So Thomas had spent decades searching for the ultimate truth. He read ancient texts, meditated for hours, studied the movements of the stars. Yet over time, his spiritual practice felt less like a living truth and more like a dry intellectual exercise. Something we could all easily fall into, that's for sure. His heart felt heavy, locked in a gray landscape of routines and expectations. He knew the names of the cosmos, but he had lost the feeling of its heartbeat. One evening, he climbed up on a high plateau that looked out over a deep valley. He went there to watch a rare alignment of the planets, hoping the celestial event would spark something inside of him. He brought his charts, his lenses, his measuring tools, preparing to record the exact movement of the alignment. As he reached the summit, he found a young woman named Sally already there. She carried no instruments, only a small hand drum made of tightly stretched hide. That's why I like the story. So she sat cross-legged on a flat stone, lightly tapping a slow rhythmic pulse that echoed softly through the night air. "Are you here to measure the alignment?" Thomas asked, adjusting his brass lenses. Sally looked up, her eyes reflecting the twilight sky. "No," she replied softly. "I'm here to listen to it." Thomas sighed. "The stars don't make sound, young lady. They follow strict celestial laws: geometry, gravity, and distance." "Perhaps," Sally said, smiling, her fingers continuing their gentle rhythm on the drum, "but they also sing." As darkness fell, the stars appeared absolutely with clarity. The planets aligned in a perfect glowing arc across the center of the sky, and Thomas immediately peered through his lenses, focusing on the coordinates and the calculating angles. He felt a familiar frustration. The view was precise, but it felt distant and cold. Looking up without the glass, so Sally suggested, "Look up without your glasses, mister." She stopped drumming and held out her hands, palms up. "Let go of the labels." Thomas paused. He hesitated, then lowered his lenses, stepped away from his charts, and he looked up at the vast canopy of space with completely open and unfiltered vision. Sally struck her drum once more, a deep, resonant tone that vibrated the earth beneath them. In that exact instant, Thomas felt a sudden shift in his awareness. The boundaries of his own body seemed to dissolve. He wasn't just a man standing on a hilltop looking at the stars. He felt the vastness of the space in his own chest. The rhythmic pulse of Sally's drum matched the rhythm of his own heart, which matched the silence, the swirling dance of the galaxies above. A brilliant wave of awe rushed through him. Tears welled in his eyes as the gray routine of his mind completely vanished. He realized that the same stardust making up the distant planets was the very material running through his own veins. The universe wasn't a cold machine to be studied. It was a living, breathing web of consciousness, and he was an integral part of it. "I see it now," Thomas whispered, in his voice trembling with joy. "You don't see it," Sally said, her eyes shining with the same wonder. "You are it." Isn't that beautiful? Thought I'd share. Yes, I love that story. Kind of went along with your message of harmony.
How does that work?
I don't know. The universe is amazing. Yeah, it just shows up. Yeah. All right, so in our closing prayer, as we bring our time together to a close, may we affirm that we know we are so capable of love, peace, joy, just to name a few of the elements of happiness. And may we remain humble in our service to our community and to each other and all creation. May we hold harmony in our hearts, our words, and our actions as a living example of what we want to see in the world. And so it is. All right, thank you. And thank you to our online participants and community. And we'll see you next time from our hearts to yours.